Hello, my name is Ethan Connon, and this is my project that I worked with Gage. It's also Gage's project. It's called Jimmy Game, the game, and it's under development. Alright, so we're gonna start with the code of Jimmy. So first, when the green flag is clicked, one of the first things he does, or the first thing he does, is go to the checkpoint, which is not shown invisible, but it's right around here. So if I show it, you can see that box. You'll go to that, as it says here, obviously. So next we're going to the main bit of code. So what we have here is a block that we made. We have the definition of all these things. So we got the platformer move speed, which is just move speed, and we use that plenty here. The jump height, gravity, friction, the wall jump X force, wall jump Y force, the fall max, and slide speed. So all this is used for like the base mechanics of the game. So if we start with the rotation style here, don't rotate. Make sure he doesn't like randomly flip over because he would do that. You got the hitbox, which is just kind of there to show um, just the basic parts of Jimmy, where he's moving, different parts that he's hitting, all that stuff. Alright, next we got the if D key pressed and not lock movement equals R. So we made a variable called lock movement, and I can show it. And if I can find it here, hold on. Alright, so we got the wall speed, um, the wall jump X force. So if speed is more than 0, then set speed to jump force times -1, and then set lock movement to 0. And if it's less than 0, then set speed to ball jump X force. So it's just a bunch of this stuff. So if like, hold on, we got Y speed. I don't know if it'll show it. Hold on. Sorry, it's if we get X speed. So if it goes up there and negative. So if it's moving to the left, it'll be negative. To the right, it'll be positive. So if it's moving to the right and it's positive, just ignore that. If it's moving right and it's positive, the lock movement goes to R there, and it locks movement there. So you can't move it all the way back right and infinitely wall jump. It's goofy mechanics, and if you do it to the other side, hold on. You can't go back left after you jump off the wall. So that's what this does. It locks your movement, as it says up here. It locks your movement, and then it'll just change it by all this bullcrap. And then we got the next part, the fun part, where we add friction. So it sets the X speed to X speed times friction, which our friction is down here. We have all our numbers down here for all the different things. Like the move speed is 1.10, so it'll be multiplied by the friction, which is -0.25, just over and over again. And then we add the gravity, so change Y speed by gravity. So if we do the Y speed, and it'll push down. So if I hold him up here, he'll drop down fast. So you could see, hold on. I won't show it. Alright. So with the gravity, changes by 19, which is pretty fast. And what it would do is it would just infinitely go up with that, and like constantly go up. If you just held him like midair, it would constantly go up and keep going up, keep going up, keep going up until it like instantly fall down. But now we changed it so that the full max is -50. So if you held him here for like 10 seconds, it would teleport down, but now he falls, which is kind of cool. And then we're starting to add the jump mechanics. So change Y by Y speed, and then we get to that in a second. So this part, it's kind of like a jump reset type thing. So we get the can jump. You can see that up there, and I could just get rid of these. See this can jump thing? Every time you jump, it resets. It goes to 0, and then it resets every time you touch the ground. The issue with that we're trying to fix is that if you hold on, if you're up here, this is like counts as a wall up here. If you just jump up and you hold the button, it just kind of floats there. I'm pretty sure we found a way to fix it, so we're getting to that, but just saying this project was not easy. So we got the jump cooldown so it's not infinitely jumping. So you can just like spam W here when he's not touching a wall and it'll stay at 0. And then the rest of this is just basically just doing the same thing. So then we do the change X by X speed. And then we got this slope variable. And pretty sure, yeah, we'll get to that. Now here's the fun jump part, where we get our little dude to jump, because he jumps really happily. Jimmy Game is his last name. Just gotta say that. So when key W is pressed, which is just W key, it sets can jump, and can jump equals 1, so this equals 1. Then set Y speed to jump height, so goes all the way up. It jumps. And then we get all this where it falls and all that stuff. Oh, and then it sets it to 0. So we got fun stuff. And this next part, this fun slope part, it's really confusing. But repeat until slope equals 8 or not touching ground. So it'll change the slope by 1 and change the Y by 1. Just how you get the falling thing. And if you're on a slope, which I'm wondering if it shows that. Yeah. I see. So what it'll do, with this next code, slope equals 8, and I'll change the X by X speed, which should be 0 minus 0 at that point. But if it's moving, then, if it's on a slope, then it'll keep on moving down. It's weird, and then it'll change the Y by the slope, so that's how it moves down a slope. So if you go up a slope, and you stop your character, it'll slide down the slope. It's kinda cool. So that's for like extra stuff, extra levels, if we want to add something else. And then this is just also that stuff, so if A is pressed or D is pressed and the Y speed is less than 0, so if it's falling, then it'll set the Y speed to the slide speed, so just 8. And then it'll set the state to slide. So I don't think we have that right now, because we don't have any slopes or whatever you want to call it. But we'll get to the state stuff in a second. And then if W is pressed, then it'll broadcast the wall jump when the speed is less than 0. So hold on. So if we do that, do a little wall jump thing. So it'll broadcast wall jump and it'll set the speed to wall jump Y force, which is up force. And then if the speed, X speed is more than 0, then it'll set the jump wall force times -1. So if it's doing this, then it'll go that way. And it'll lock the movement. And then otherwise, it'll do the other. It'll push it the other way. So if I can, it'll do that. Fun stuff. So that's the wall jump. And then we got if Y speed is less than fall max, then set Y speed to fall max. So I'm pretty sure this just kind of adds the gravity. Just fun stuff. So it's constantly trying to go down. It's really strong gravity. Just makes it a little bit more hard, a little bit harder. Alright, then we add another variable called roll delay. This one's fun. So our roll is set to the spacebar. So it's like a little dive thing for us. But we called it roll because we followed the video on this. And if it equals 100, then repeat 3 times change X speed by direction divided by 15. So just kind of moves there, and it repeats 3 times. So it just goes that way, and then it sets it to 0. So No. It sets the roll delay to 0. This is just hard to follow. Sorry. Um. So again, you hit spacebar. It goes that way, and it sets this to 0. And then we got this fun part. So if roll delay is less than 100, then it'll change the roll delay by 4. So this is fast, but it sets it to 0 and it goes up by 4. So there's a little cooldown. I thought that was really cool. And then this is just like to point in the direction that we're moving. So it's not constantly pointing in one direction. It switches, which is kind of fun. This camera thing we tried to use to make it like zoom in on this and follow his movement. But the video we used had outdated code, so this is just it's just interesting. And then yeah, we're gonna get to this reset thing in a second. So when the green flag is clicked, broadcast start, and when I receive start, broadcast reset, and then this is all the definitions, or this is all the numbers for the fun stuff up here. And then when it receives the reset, this is basically all the code that is used for all these variables. It's all the sets. So set x speed to 0, set y speed to 0, set slope to 0, set lock movement to NA, set state to NA, set player to x to 400. This was supposed to be for the camera, all this. So this is kind of useless here. But it's there. And then this is the set size. So we'll sets this guy to 30% of his actual size. So he's pretty big in the actual game, like without that. And it shows him. Then we got the animation stuff. So when it receives start, it'll forever use the animation controller. So we're just gonna jump to this right now. So animation controller, it's kind of complex, kind of not. So we got this state thing that we made. It didn't work for like most of the time, cause this stupid NA thing. But if we move, that's interesting. Hold on. Alright, we're just gonna speedrun this because this is confusing. I don't know why it's not showing anything on the state there. But basically, if the state equals slide, then we'll set the state to slide. It's all this stuff. But all this is just to do is to switch the costumes. So you get the movement animations, the jumps, the idle, the wall jumps, so you can like do the wall slides and jump off the wall. It's all that, and we got like a little fall animation, which is just his arms down, because glitches and everything, so kind of falls like that. Fun stuff, and then it'll set the state to NA. That's probably why it says NA all the time. And it's rotation left to right, so it. All this is just extra stuff. This is the definition for. It's like animation controller and all that stuff. So it'll start with idle 1, and then switch costume to floor, start costume plus costume to total costumes. This is all just a bunch of stuff for making sure that everything just works. It's crazy. And then when it receives wall jump, it'll wait until the absolute value of x speed is less than 2, and then it'll set the lock movement to NA. So if sets it. Alright. So when it's less than 2, you can move again. It's crazy. Alright, then we got the when green flag clicked forever if touching hazard, then broadcast flash and go to checkpoint. So basically that's just like, if I touch this, it flashes and then it goes back to the checkpoint. We got the ground, we'll get to the flag thing in a second, but it's ground, it goes to 0, 0, and it shows fun stuff. We got the checkpoint, you can see it here, it moves, it moves, so it'll start here, in this little spot, and you go back to it every time. You go up here, you hit the flag, it moves over here. It moves up there. It's crazy. And then again, we'll get to the flag stuff in a second. And then the flag stuff, So when the green flag is clicked, it'll show it, and switch the costume to level 0. So we have different costumes lined up with all the levels. So it's weird looking, but this is like 2 levels in it of itself. We got creative. Well, Gage did, but Gage designed most of these levels. Actually, he designed every single one, but we all did our part. And then we got the flag, the fun part. Well, tedious part, I guess. So it'll always show it. Set it to 20%. The size, so it's big, but we set it small because it makes it easier. And then the level flag thing. This level flag, if we show it, it's automatically set to 0. Sets it to 0 when a green flag is clicked. And if it touches Jimmy, it'll change it by 1. It'll broadcast the next level, and it'll wait 1 second. So if you can't just like sit on it and get like 50,000 of them, it'll set it to 1 and 1 only. And then you got 2. And then let's see if I can do this. Got really lucky with that. 3, and then yeah. So every time level flag goes up a number. That's how we like change the levels and switch the places of every object and everything. And then here we just got our under development screen, so let's just see how it's played. Alright, and then you got the under development screen. So that's our game. Thanks for watching.